Hey, what's up? David here with After VideoFX and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created this fire composite inside of After Effects, and I will be using some third-party assets. I'll be using VisualFX Pro's fire elements and smoke elements. And if you don't have these assets, I'll leave a link in the description below where you could use my coupon code After VideoFX and you can get a certain, I think it was like 10% off from your purchase or something like that. Have a look at that. But without further ado, let's take a look at what we're going to be creating. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. So let me show you why I did this. So excuse the resolution. I'm just going to set it down to quarter res because it's pretty slow in real-time rendering. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that so that we can get a bit more speed. Okay, so this comp is full HD comp. So let me show you quickly. Full HD, 30 frames per second. It's about 15 seconds long, but like I didn't really do much in regards. I cut it down to 12 seconds, so like that. It's 32 bits per channel, so please make sure your channel is 32 bits. Okay, and I'll just break down layer by layer. So the first layer, if I just hide the effects of it, this is my footage here. So this is just like something I recorded in my backyard. Just like these branches here. Very, very detailed layout here. So I was trying to be careful, just make sure like the fire blows along the branches here. Let me show you my effects. So what I did was, so I did a curves adjustment just to darken it a bit. I did another curves adjustment, and then this time I just added a bit of tint of blue just to get that night feel. And then I crushed some of that white so that we get a bit more darkness, gloomy outcome. This is just the base layer, so it won't affect too much with the fire and the glow. Okay. And then what I did was I duplicated it. So this is the duplicate layer. And I created a matte using this. So what I did was I used the colorama effect to create a matte. So if I just use that colorama effect, let me just solve this first. And then I set the output cycle to ramp gray, and then like it'll create like a little tint effect, and I added like a little bit of a tint, a curves adjustment just to adjust the contrast a bit, like that. So you can see what the colorama effect is doing, like that. So yeah, just trying to like adjust some of the, I guess, black and darkness of it. So I think it was like the other way, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was like that. And then I just added like the curves adjustment on top. So that was pretty much it for the matte. And then I got some of these, smoke elements. So let me show you that. I got some of these smoke elements here. I'll just set to no track matte. So these are just blank smoke elements just playing in the background here. And then I set the track matte to luma matte. That way it will be behind all of this branches and stuff like that. So that was really handy. And if I superimpose that with my original layer, we get that effect. Okay, I did the same thing for this guy. So same thing, if I just solo that, it is another layer just behind on this, coming from this side. With my Atmos effect, I did turn down the exposure because if I composite this with without any at the original exposure level like that, it will blow out with the glow. So just keep that in mind when you're compositing smoke elements. It will make it brighter. Okay. I boosted the alpha and I just gave it a bit of a tint effect. Same goes for my other smoke layer. And we get this effect. Okay, cool. And then I've got my tracking data here. So this is just a very simple tracking setup. So if I just go to tracker, I put the tracking, believe I tracked this point. So it's a bit of high contrast so that we get a nice clean tracking. And then I just place that tracking data onto this null object. So like that. Okay. So, and then we make sure you just parent all your layers, like all this, to that tracking data so that we get no parallax or anything like that. Okay. So let me show you my 5 branches. So if I go into this comp here. Okay, so let me show you what I did. So I have composited quite a few layers of branches fire. So I did my best just to follow the branches. So like, as you can see, it is just layer by layer for how I composited these branches. And I made sure I mixed it up with the timing and the layer itself. So I've got like different layers and I've got different times as well. I even scattered them across a little bit so that we get a bit of randomness to our fire here. This is just a guide layer just to help me guide what I was seeing as well. And then I pre-composed all of this into a comp. And then if we go back, we should get these guys. So we got one here, and I duplicated it. We got another one on this side, and we have another one on this side. Okay, and I randomized that timing as well for the 5 branches. So anything in orange you see here is the different timing for the branches. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the 5 branches. This is the main source. I did add some additional details. So as you can see here, so we got one branch here, here. I'm just going to go this one by one so that you can see what I did. Like that. Okay, so I added some fire elements here and down here as well. Okay, there's not much I can say about that. It's just a matter of just like layer by layer. You just place it on Composer and just randomize the timing, the scale. You can even try different layers as well. So that's pretty much what I did throughout the entire time. I added some smoke elements. So we got a smoke element here and here. So just one, and this will just help with the smoke elements, like over here, where the source of fire is coming from. I also added some embers, so we got one here, here, and here. Okay. So these are just embers that is just happening. A good way to note for how I basically superimposed these elements to my base layer is I used the mesh warp. So for instance, for this guy, I use the mesh warp so that I can, like, I guess, distort it so that to make it follow the branch itself. So if I just grab like one of these points, come on, and then just like push it up, you can like follow the branch itself. And same goes for every other branch as well. So like you can see here, I did that. I even did it in my 5 branch as well. So, oh, maybe I didn't. Never mind. But yeah, that's just another handy tip for how you could just adjust like the shape of the fire. With my smoke elements, I didn't really do much. I just again turned down the exposure because it's going to blow out with the glow, and I tinted it as well, a bit more darker. Okay, embers, I didn't really do much with that. Okay, so let's look at my color correction because that's really important. Actually, no, let's do my glow. So this is just a simple orange solid. If I show you quickly, it's an orange solid. And then with the feather, I feathered it out like 500 pixels. I just created like a little mask here. And then I set the transform rate to add. And I added a wiggle expression for the opacity so that we get a bit of randomness to the glow. So just keep that in mind. I might actually adjust, make it a little bit higher in terms of the glow. Maybe like that. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, now we can go with the color correction, which is this guy. So here's what I did with my color correction. So I got a first glow. That's just with the fire itself. So these are my settings for the glow. It's pretty straightforward. I've got a second glow, which is the like I guess, yeah, just a second glow. I think the radius was just a bit higher and turned down the threshold and the intensity. I've got a final glow, which is this guy, which is going to be a bit more. I might turn down that actually, like 0.7. Okay, and then maybe turn that up to like 400. Okay, so like that. I adjusted the hue and saturation, so I wanted to get a bit more white look and desaturated and a bit of white and red into this. And I think for the master, I just didn't really do much. I did use the film convert nitrate plugin, so if you have this plugin, you should use it. If you don't worry too much about it. You can just use whatever film, I guess, third-party plugins you have for it. And I added a curves adjustment to give it a bit of rich contrast, and I added an exposure effect as well, so maybe like 0.4. Okay, that's what I did for the color correction. Added a vignette so we get a bit more drawn attention to here. Added a heat distortion effect, so this is Video Copilot's heat distortion, and I added a lens distortion as well, so we get like a bit of lens distortion. Oh, it's the bulge effect, by the way, in case you didn't know which effect I was referring to. And yeah, that was it. That was how I created this effect here. I am still adjusting some of the settings here, so I might change, like, I don't know, I could bring up the temperature to make it a bit more warm, or I could bring down, like, adjust some of these contrast settings here. Yeah, it's just a matter of just fiddling around with the settings so you get the right look. But yeah, once you put those together, you get this effect. Okay, that's pretty much it how I created it. And just one final touch I actually did is I put my fire composite into a new comp, so which is in here. I scaled it up a bit because I personally didn't like this roof hanging out, so I just like what's it called? Just got rid of that part, and then yeah, that was it. So that's pretty much it. How I created this like burning tree here. Anyway, guys, my name's David. I hope you learned interesting techniques that you can use for your own creations. Please give a like if you like this video so people can find it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And be sure to hit that bell button to get the notifications. And comment down below if you have any questions. And I will see you in the next video.